We are going to have a look at using percentages in CSS. On our web page here, we have two paragraphs with solid borders. It can be seen they align and have the same width. However, although they have the same width, each is calculated differently. The first uses a percentage, while the second uses an absolute pixel unit. This is the code of the home page. You can see the two paragraphs. The major difference here is the class. The first being %w and the second being fixed w. For %w, we see that it has a font size of 20 pixels. It has a line height of 1.5. Don't worry. Later in coming lesson, I'll explain usage of numbers for line height. What our focus here is the width, which is 50%. The fixed W selector has the same parameters, just with a difference in the width. The width is 712 pixels. How do we get that number? That is because on the web page, the width of the body is 1424 pixels. So to achieve half of that, we divide it by 2, and that gives us 712. We're doing division by 2 so that we can get similar value of 50% of 1424, but manually. To confirm, we can inspect the web page and check for the body's width. You will see that the width is 1424 pixels. So just in case yours is different, try and confirm that. The two paragraphs have the same width, but the first paragraph achieves that using percentage, while the second uses an absolute unit. Let's try changing the width to 70%, and that will result in about 997 pixels. To demonstrate that, we can update the width of the second paragraph and see if they align. For now, the parent of the first paragraph is the body tag, so there's no limitation and it has access to the full viewport's width. In a case where it is embedded in another element, things might be different. So now let's say we have a wrapper class that has a width of 400 pixels, and we embed the first paragraph in there. Because the width of the first paragraph is 70%, it will try to maintain a width of 70% of its parent. Now the parent being 400 pixel width, its new width will be 280. It's relative depending on the direct parent of the element. Another area where percentages can be used is in font sizes. Now, at the moment, both paragraphs have a font size of 20 pixels. If I set the first to font size 50%, that means it's now 50% of the font size of its parent. So when you use percentages for font sizes, it's relative to the font size of the parent. Now remember that the parent div has a font size of 32 pixels. Because it is 50%, the new font size of paragraph 1 is 16 pixels, because 50% of 32 is 16. If we change the font size for the second to 16 pixels, we can see they are similar in size. If we remove the font size declaration from the div, the first paragraph will then inherit the default 16 pixel font size from the root element. 50% of 16 is 8, so the new font size becomes 8. We can further set the font size to 125%. That will give us 20 pixels. That is because 125% of 16 is 20. So you can see how you can play along with all these numbers. This is usage of percentage in width and font size.